My fiance and her kids are moving into my house, but she's accusing me of playing favorites with my daughter.
Maybe she's the best. I don't know.
My 47 male daughter, Stacy, 15 female, has one of the 2 rooms in my house with an ensuite bathroom. It's a largish room with a nice bay window, obviously very nice. By the way, this comes from Educational Meat 8359 on the OKstorytime subreddit. So I've recently become engaged to my girlfriend of 3 years, Alice, 33 female. And our landlord has recently hiked her rent, so we're planning to have her move in with me. She has some kids. She has 2 daughters, 13 female, 10 female, and 2 sons, 11 male and 9 male. She's also pregnant with our daughter due in about 5 months. That is going to be a full house.
It's a big family.
I've made it absolutely clear to my daughter, as a condition of getting her approval on moving my girlfriend in, that she's allowed to keep her room and she's allowed to have a full lock on her door. For what it's worth, I also got my son's 24 male blessing to give away his old room, although that's more of a moot point as he lives with his girlfriend now. My daughter plans to go to school locally, and I've told her in no uncertain terms that she's welcome to live at home for the rest of my life. And after that, she can inherit the house. Wow. I bought the house with her mother and paid it off in large part with her mother's life insurance 10 years ago, so it only seems fair. She says she's all right as long as she has her room and her bathroom, and she's allowed to put a lock on the door. She has a toaster oven and a mini fridge in there, so I guess she's pretty well set up. Stacy will be giving up a room that she's currently using as a studio/project space. She does art, videos, and voiceovers, etc. So even her larger room will become a bit more cramped, and she'll definitely need the extra space she has. There will be a bedroom for Alice's girls, Stacy's old project room, and Alice's boys will be getting my son's old room. I'm going to be putting in a finished nursery/bedroom in the basement for our new daughter. Alice thinks this is unfair. She thinks it was wrong of me to make the decision without her. And she also thinks that she should move her 2 daughters into Stacy's room, and that Stacy should have to move to the smaller room that they'll be getting. The 2 of them already share a smaller room than the one I'm moving them into as it is, so they're getting an upgrade regardless. Alice thinks it's not fair for Stacy to have a bathroom all to herself and that there won't be enough bathrooms for everyone else. She also disapproves of Stacy's being able to lock everyone out. There were other smaller things she didn't like that I agreed to with Stacy, like the fact that she's being paid for any babysitting. That's totally fair.
That is very fair.
Or the fact that my older car, her mom's old car, is hers when she gets her driver's license. We'll have our own bathroom in the master bathroom, and the house has 3 other bathrooms besides, 1 on each floor, 1 near what will be her girls' room, 1 not far from what will be the boys' room, and 1 little basically be directly next to the new finished room. There's more, but it seems like OP's being a good dad and is trying to make this transition as
fair for everyone.
Fair.
Yeah.
When, this is Stacy's room. It's not fair for her to just have to move out.
Mm-hmm.
She's already sacrificing space. That was her studio.
Yeah. The fact that Alice's rent is going up, because Alice is, again, the girlfriend.
Yes.
Girlfriend or partner. Let's just say partner.
Yeah.
Alice is the partner and she wants more.
It just seems, she just wants more for all her kids and for herself.
Do you realize that he's letting you into his house and allowing you to all move in and also give more space for your kids and your coming kid?
I told Alice that my deal with Stacy is non-negotiable, set in stone, and that it's literally a condition of her even moving in. Alice is upset that Stacy and I both have spaces completely dedicated to ourselves. I have my office, which I need because I work from home and have projects besides, and there aren't a whole lot of other spaces to put people. I told her she can pretty much do what she wants in the living room, but that it is what it is, and there's pretty much nothing to be done about it. A bigger house is not an option unless Alice is going to start making a heck of a lot more money and buy her own bigger house.
Mm-hmm.
It's already a pretty big house, and housing is expensive. I told her that she's already getting a break by my only expecting her to contribute 15 or 20% to household bills. If we were doing it proportionately, it would be more like 25 to 30%. We keep separate finances and we've agreed to a prenup. Alice just seems upset that I won't change the setup, even though there's no real way to change it. And she's accused me of treating Stacy like a spoiled little princess and letting her be queen of the house.
Oh, I'm sorry. Who are you to like.
This is so disrespectful.
Yeah,
if you don't agree with this, you don't have to move in. You can stay unmoved in.
You can go get your own place.
Like, I do think that there are compromises that need to be made whenever you're, combining families and stuff.
Yes.
But also you can't expect this, I don't know, she's like a teenager to just have to give up her room. I don't think that's fair.
Stacy is his daughter.
Yeah.
And this was probably a conversation they both had, and he did say this was the deal.
Also a house that was paid for partially by her mother's life insurance.
Yeah. No,
so she
Alice
has more
gets no
claim
say
to it
here.
right now.
Alice should honestly keep her mouth shut.
Yeah.
Like, you should be happy enough that you're getting a place and a roof for everyone.
Mm-hmm. For very cheap. Yeah, I think I am of the mind of both. There are compromises that need to be made when you're combining families, but also this is it's not fair for her to ask Stacy to
again.
give
You
up her
haven't.
room.
Alice has not moved in yet. You don't even know how it's going to be. It could be perfect. It may not. Who knows? But this is way too early to be like, no, that's not what I.
Work.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
Frankly, my daughter comes first. She lived here all her life, and I already know it's going to be a big adjustment having all of those other kids move in. As much as I love Alice and as much as I want our relationship to work, if it's a matter of choosing between the two of them, then my relationship with Alice is a sacrifice I'm willing to make. I've told her that if she comes into this with wicked stepmother vibes, and that'll be the end of things. She thinks I'm being unreasonable. Am I the a-hole? I don't think so.
No, the fact that, again, that you agreed with your daughter and your daughter agreed with you, great.
Yeah.
That's like, sometimes the daughter would be like, no, that's my art studio.
That's true. What do you want this situation? I was thinking that you would keep your own room. Mm-hmm. And then he goes back to Alice and is like, hey, I've talked to my daughter. I think that's the situation. Does that work for you? Because if it doesn't, then maybe we should stay apart, like live apart for now. And like had that kind of conversation just so it wasn't kind of as last minute as it seems it was.
Yeah, but it seems
but I still think it's a fair,
so extremely fair. I think everything, like he said, the rent went up and he's like, oh, this is very last minute. You can move in, but these are the guidelines and these are the rules. Yes.
So it's like she still has the right to say no.
She could say no, but the fact that he said, oh, you're not paying as much, you're paying a little bit, and everyone gets a roof over their heads. Yeah. I don't know where she's coming from to be like, or where she gets
also just like idea. Her being like, oh, she's a spoiled little princess. Like,
who are you to say that?
That's not even do anything.
Yeah.
But there's an update.
Yes.
I got a lot of eye-opening insight and advice from my post, so I feel it's worth giving everyone an update, especially considering developments. First, to address a few questions that seemed to keep coming up before I lost the ability to read and respond to every reply, although I'm still trying. My son, 24 male, is my child from a previous relationship before I met/married my late wife. He has his own provisions in my will, but he's quite aware that the house goes to his sister. My own sister is to become guardian of my daughter if anything should happen to me. I love my sister as dearly as I love anyone, and she and her niece love each other and get along great. I trust her completely if, God forbid, anything should happen.
Okay.
Yes, the basement is an unusual place for a nursery, but I was just trying to make people fit where they could go. The move was supposed to be happening within a month, and Alice's older kids needed rooms now. Meanwhile, the baby isn't going to be born for about 5 months, so she could go into the room that isn't made yet.
Yes.
I honestly figured we could keep a crib in our room for a bit, and after that, it's no big deal for a kid to have her room in a finished basement. So even then, like, this is not the final deal. A kid's going to have a bigger room.
This is just temporary. And again, Stacy, his daughter, she's already a teenager.
Also, she's the oldest one.
She was 16 or 13 or 14?
Something like, I think she was a teenager and the other kids were younger.
Yeah. So.
Also, honestly, I didn't want to move my office. It's been where it is forever and I didn't want to move it. I can admit that. We've had the beginning/groundwork of a finished basement since forever, but there was never any reason to really put a move on it. It was a big change to go from having more room than we need with just me and Stacy rattling around in the house to suddenly scrambling for space and to not having enough. It was the obvious spot where an additional bedroom could go, but not a spot where a bedroom is now. Alice and I had talked about marriage and children more or less in the abstract on many occasions, and we both wanted to get married at some point if things continued to work out. And I wanted to have more children, although this pregnancy was quite unexpected. Mm-hmm. It was Alice's pregnancy combined with the rent hike on her place that accelerated the timetable on things.
Right.
So they probably would have had more conversations about this.
It was just, again, like I said, it was probably all of the spur of the moment. Yeah. And the fact that he is like, even in the spur of the moment, it's like, I can do this. We can do this.
Yeah.
And she still wants more.
Yeah. For what it's worth, the rent hike is real. I've seen the paperwork, and I have literally no reason to suspect the baby is not mine. But yes, the only reason why we got engaged so recently is because Alice got pregnant. The only reason why Alice and her kids would be moving in with me so suddenly is because she was likely to need to move somewhere, and I'd obviously like to be responsible for / be near / raise my coming daughter. To me, it made sense for my daughter to live with me. I never wanted to be an absentee parent / part-time parent, or to not have time or share space with my child. The circumstances all made sense, at least until now. I was definitely wary of Alice and paying more attention to her, especially after the many, many comments that I read. I came to Reddit to get a sanity check on whether or not I was being an a-hole about my conditions with Stacy, not to try to actually make any kind of major life or relationship changes. But I didn't want to turn a blind eye either. It was Friday and Stacy texted me asking for her allowance. I was with Alice at the time and I went ahead and let the subject come up. I give Stacy $100 a week. Alice thinks this is crazy and excessive. She thinks it's improper, and she brought it up as an example of how she thinks I'm raising Stacy like a spoiled princess. If it's not your child, and also you haven't been living there that long, I don't think you really get a say in how to parent his kid.
Couple things. It's not your daughter. Yeah. It's not your parenting style, and it's his money. It's not your money. It's not our money. It's his money, and he's giving it to her. Yeah. And can do whatever he wants.
Yeah.
Just really not your
weird
say.
That she's trying to input herself in here.
Maybe even OP is not understanding the circumstances of everything.
Yeah. She said as much again when I told her I was sending Stacy her allowance, but this time Alice also asked if her kids would get the same allowance after we got married. I told her that someday our new daughter would probably get an allowance, just like Stacy does, but there was no way I had any plans of shelling out an extra $400 a week for her other kids. Alice got upset. She said that Stacy wastes my money on shoes and makeup. She has previously criticized Stacy for wearing fancy sneakers, high heels, and makeup. And she said that I was showing favoritism, and that's a form of abuse. She complained about me letting Stacy buy things with my credit card and store my credit card on her phone when I don't even let Alice do that. She said that whatever money was going to go to the kids should be split evenly amongst them. I have somewhat mixed feelings about this.
Me too.
Because I think that when you combine families, there should be an effort to make those kids your kids.
Their favoritism, obviously, it's your kid.
There's going to be a different relationship between your daughter and
the very
her kids.
Yes.
You guys just moved in.
And you guys, I feel like their dating timetable hasn't been that long.
I don't think so.
No.
I shrugged and told her that wasn't going to happen and that I wasn't going to cut Stacy's allowance. She snapped at me and said that a man living alone with his daughter and doting on her like I do is creepy and incestuous.
Done.
Okay, Alice,
you're no longer coming. Like
I take back anything that I was trying to help out Alice with. That's insane.
The fact that she is calling out OP like that, and like, do you realize that you are going into his house? Like he's offering
you a place in his house to help, house your kids, and you're calling his relationship with his daughter creepy.
The one who's being a spoiled brat here is you. I mean, not OP, but Alice. Yeah, look at us. Yeah, look at us go.
And she said, "You've just replaced your wife with your daughter, and you need to stop."
Again, who are you? Is every single context?
You have a rent hike. Go deal with it. You're not moving in.
Good luck. Have good luck to you and your kids. I'll be there for our kid, but not for you.
Yeah, not for you. That was it. Sure, I've ignored a lot of red flags up until now, but that was it.
Yep.
She started trying to tell me about how it's unhealthy for me to be so close with Stacy, and how she didn't want her kids to be neglected, and how she wanted to be treated as an equal if we were getting married. But I interrupted her, and I told her that I don't think we should be getting married. I told her that I don't want her moving in, and that we were going to need to work something else out. To be perfectly honest, my sister, my brother, and some of my friends have expressed some of the same misgivings about Alice that I've read, although they were generally a lot more gentle about it. I mean, it's Reddit. Yeah. I was in love with her. In fact, I'm still in love with her, and I wasn't seeing things clearly. I told her that I would always and definitely make sure that our child had a roof over her head, but that she was going to have to work something out for herself and her kids on her own. Obviously, we had a huge fight. She screamed at me. She called me a heartless bee. She blamed Stacy for trying to sabotage our relationship. She guilt-tripped me about her cost of living and how I'm in an empty house all by myself. She also guilt-tripped me about the stress on the baby, and I actually do feel bad and worry about that. She eventually broke down crying and told me to leave. In the past 10 years, this was the first relationship with a woman I've had that became serious. I love her, and this hurts. It hurts a heck of a lot. I told Stacy that she didn't have to bother moving her stuff out of the other room, that Alice wasn't coming, and we hugged. She asked if this was her fault, and I told her no. I told her I honestly feel like marrying Alice would have been a mistake, even if the two of them could have been best buddies. By the way, you can be best buddies with us every weekday at 3 p.m. PST. Just tap our profile.
Tap it.
And there is a little bit more to the story, but do you have any final thoughts?
Good on OP realizing this is such a hard, rock in a hard place for him because again, he even just stated, I was gonna say, oh, how has he been dating? This is the first serious relationship he's had in over 10 years since the passing of his wife.
And Alice is pregnant with his kid.
Yes.
This is a complicated situation.
But this is showing Alice's true colors. Mm-hmm. You can't, I get it. She's you shouldn't be showing favoritism. This is my daughter.
Yeah.
I've only known you for so long. This is my daughter.
Yeah. No, it's just, I think she would just keep taking more and more.
Yeah.
And she'd keep complaining and then trying to push you away from Stacy, which is not fair.
Yeah. The fact that she said all those nasty things.
Terrible, disgusting things.
And again, who is she to call you out, and who is she to say your parenting, do this, do that? It's who are you?
You guys are allowed to talk about, I do think as step-parents, I think you should have a conversation about what your role as a parent is going to be for your step-kids.
Yes.
Because it is important to have that discussion. But you can't just assume that you get to, right off the bat, get to tell their kids how they're going to live and be and stuff and act.
And to also just say, even if Alice did move in with the kids, she already had a mindset towards Stacy.
Yes, she already had that. That's already a very bad sign that she doesn't want to be. She try to change that dynamic or get in the way
Stacy.
of
She
it.
already has a bad mindset about Stacy. Mm-hmm. Not good.
Not good. But I think
dodged a bullet. I think
you did the right thing. But there's a little bit left. I've always wanted to have a few more kids, and I've missed having a wife, but things don't always happen the way we want. So I'm pretty sure my relationship with Alice is effectively over, even if we're going to be raising a child together for the foreseeable future. My new daughter can have my son's old room whenever we work out whatever custody agreement we end up working out.
There you go.
I'm not sorry to be having another kid, even if I really wish the circumstances could have been better. The red flags were always there. I guess it's better that I notice them now instead of later. And that is the end of that story. I agree.
Yeah.
You did eventually notice the red flags.
Sometimes you're blinded by love, and especially this kind of thing where he hasn't had a serious relationship. Yeah, it sucks. But
good on you.
Good on you for standing your ground. And again, the entire time I'm like, who is this woman who thinks she can just walk all over you and act like everything is hers? It's yours.
No.
You don't have to do that.
Absolutely not. But that is the end of that story. So we'll see you next time.